Okay, we want to demonstrate a method of planting vegetation in the yard and using containers to contain some water to facilitate the growth of the ivy and various other plants. So I'm taking some containers here. We're going to put some pots into them and see whether that helps the growth of the pots. First of all, I want to remove something that we do not need here and put it away. We'll store it somewhere. Now I want to bend my lanyard in a way that it will shoot downwards and to place spread the legs of my lanyard, tighten up the knob of the lanyard so it stays in this way. And then I'm going to start placing the pots. Where I want to remove some of those various pull tools out of the way. Let me see if I can do that. Maybe just leave them here for now. Let's try it on one. Here I have a little papaya tree. Let's see if I can take one of these. Then when it starts raining, they will retain the water, the liquid. I think that all these pieces of equipment are really in the way. Let's see if I can move it a bit out of the way, to the side. Because right now, they interfere a little too much with my agricultural experiments, and later on I'll deal with the pull tools a little better. Right now, just want to clear the space here so I can deal with the plants. Then when it will start raining, the rain will fill up those containers and provide water to the plants. So let's see how many plants I can fit in each one of them comfortably. 2, maybe 3. Well, at least for sure 2. So I'm going to arrange them in a way that in the center of this table tennis. Clean it up here a little. And any containers that can contain water, you want to keep them in a way upside down so they don't turn into a puddle. Here we have a few more plants. It may need some water to survive. We'll start with putting 2 of them at a time. see, for some reason, some of those are falling out. The animals that come here keep digging into the soil and pulling out some of these plants, and they are dry and are going to die if you don't provide them with some immediate care. Here's two of them. And another set. Cool. You can see how some of them are so loose. Put two of them to a container like this. Now here's some ivy that I've cut out. The people keep throwing out, and we'll cut it to size and plant it in the soil, and also around the soil, but try to plant in each one a few strands of this ivy. So here we take one of the, we'll start with this and try to see how much of an ivy we need to put in. Hopefully this ivy will get enough between the soil. Insert it around, a couple of rounds around the pot, and then cut it off and contain it to the next pot, and in this manner we'll have it in every pot, some ivies, and we will come later to revisit it and see how well it does. Here's another piece. It's going to get in this one. Sometimes when it's too small, we take another piece and we can repeat it. We can add another piece in here. You can see it is already dying because it was outside for too long. This is done. Set it up like a little assembly line. So these two are done. Put them at the end of the line. Right there. And in the middle. the next one. Take another strand. Try to place it upside up and leave a few of the leaves so they can sense that there is a little light. You can get enough. To push them deep inside. But cut them up, otherwise they won't stay in. You have to cut them out at certain points, like here. See how it keeps popping out. And I want it to be inside, and I want it to be exposed to the soil so it starts growing roots. So here is one is done, and then another one coming up. I have to deal with this strange of ivy. So this is the devil's ivy. Stick it inside. It usually grows everywhere very well. You just have to give it some kind of something to grow from. Some humidity. This will start flourishing. One good sized ring, and then leave a little piece outside so they get enough exposure and enough air. Okay, second one that is done. Move these two to the end of the line. Okay. Here's another set needs to be processed. Another strand of ivy salvaged from the trash. Start digging it so the roots get exposure to the soil. I have to push it in so the animals don't get to it and tear it up and try to eat it. This one or two or three rings around the pot. Later on I'm going to put some leaves on top to retain the water, so there's not enough rain. It will still be sufficient amount of water. You want to stick it all the way inside. Maybe a couple of leaves sticking outside so that the animals don't start yanking them and pulling out the whole plant. There's another one. Go around. Push this devil's ivy inside. Couple of rings inside. And then we'll cut it off and come back and repeat again whatever is left over. Okay, so this one is finished also for now. 1 and 2. Another one. It's all roll them around inside against the edges of the top to force them to stay inside and to start connecting with the soil. Then if it has some leaves, try to stick some leaves outside so it can benefit from the light. Like this, a couple of rings around the pot. Push it all the way inside. Okay, then the second one here. Let's see what the animals are doing. They're taking the plants out with their roots, trying to find if there is any food in there. I really need some kind of a hand shovel to deal with this. Should be a hand shovel. There's another one. Let's work with this strand for now. Insert it on one end. Also, we want to plant deeper. These that were yanked out by the animals have to be planted deeper in the soil, making it more difficult for the animals to come at night and to pull them out. Then the dead leaves, pour the dead leaves and put the dead leaves inside, on top of it to keep it all intact. So this is another pair. See what happens with a lot of these plants. The animals tear them out. Trying to see if there is any food in there. Like to dig them back in. Make it difficult for all these animals to yank them out again. Spread them around the pot. Then I'm going to take another ivy. Start planting the ivy along the edges of the pot. As I turn the pot, I push the ivy all the way to the bottom so it is in contact with the soil. Otherwise it will dry from the heat and will not grow. You want to make sure that you push it all the way inside and you force it to remain inside long enough so it can root. later on I may add some additional soil to top what is already in there. Okay, so far we got one is done, and this one, I don't know how many, has 2 pots in it, and I'm not sure. I need to have 2 pots in there. So let's see. I can release one of the pots if they're not broken. I may be able to use only one pot and recycle the other one. And this looks like it is not broken yet. But it's like you cannot separate between them. Yeah. See if I can separate these 2 parts and take one of them out. Yeah, okay. Now I want to put some soil into it. Put some ivy into it first. I'm going to stick the ivy all around it and rotate it as I'm putting the ivy in there. Making sure that it gets enough exposure to the soil. Then we'll come back to it and see how well does it do. I think that this must be enough for this part. Need to cut it out here. So I have 2 parts already here. And then this one, for some reason, fell out. Good enough for now. Push it all the way inside. It is stuck. It is exposed to the soil. And later on, if a little more rain. Okay. Couple of more. Strands. Trying to get the leaves out of the soil so they can be exposed to sunlight. Push the rest of the ivy into the very bottom. So the animals that roam around here in the wilderness would have a very difficult time to yank it out. Another pot and another ivy strand. And to shove it all the way to the bottom, forcing it to get in contact with the soil. As you can see, this is already dead and completely dried up. But if there will be sufficient water, it may survive. And if it doesn't survive, it will turn into great fertilizer. Okay, let me see if I have any more ivy here, which I don't. Just clean the tabletop, the tennis table, and take some of the leaves. You just fill around, stuff them inside to act as fertilizer. Then we're going to put it back in the tray and watch it. See how the animals pull out these strands, yank them out of the soil and tear them out, checking if there are anything to eat in there. Okay, now last set here in the tray. Wait and see how it does. Take the equipment back. Extra pots. Okay. Trash bag. Done for now. Okay, this is it for now. I want to put the tool back, protect it from the weather. And cover. These guys need to be cleaned up. Later we'll deal with that. I want to put all my tools up here prominently so I can find them. This is good enough for now. That's it.